Welcome to OSG Live, where we inspire you to fall in love with your business. Get set to join your hosts, Tanya, Becky, Kylene, and Aaron for your weekly motivation. It's time to share your wins, express gratitude, and choose positive changes. Jump into the comments and share your thoughts with the rest of the OSG community. Coming up, OSG Wellness Super Tools to nourish your mind and body, small business success gems to uncover hidden gems of business excellence, and the uncommon mindset to challenge the status quo. Your journey to success and happiness starts now.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's having a wonderful week. My week has been a little bit on the strange side just because we've done things that are not normal for us, but that's okay. I just want to welcome everybody. My name is Tanya from Gracie B. Doodle Designs, and I'll have everyone else introduce themselves.
Sure. I'm Kylene with Rise, Shine, Smile.
I'm Becky with BK Custom Tees.
I'm Aaron Montgomery with Our Success Group, and we are here to inspire you guys to fall in love with your business and just have that fulfilled and balanced life. So exciting to be here with you guys again today, back in studio for me. So that's a nice feeling. While the trip was nice, it's always good to be back home and settled in. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you back.
Thank you.
Although your backdrop last time was pretty cool.
The skyline was pretty neat.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get started with some gratitude so we can kind of just set the tone for the show today. We talk about gratitude because gratitude's our superpower. When we're in a state of gratitude, we're in a state of abundance, and therefore we start attracting more good things to us, right? We start paying attention to all those things around us to appreciate that we have, to be grateful for, and then it raises our vibration up, and then we start having that ripple effect with other people around us. So that's why we want to start our show here today with some gratitude. So if you're listening, please share your gratitude with us. I'll start. Today, I am grateful for our son, Lewis, and his independence. He is definitely, he can do more than I sometimes let him do. And it's always really amazing that when we just let him do it, he does it, and he does it really well with lots of pride. So I'm just really grateful for that.
Yeah. Tanya, what about you?
I am grateful for making memories. I'm making more of an effort to do things that we don't ordinarily do. Jay and I went to Minneapolis on Monday night. Granted, I'm not going to stay up for 20 hours again anytime soon because that kind of messed me up. But having memories is amazing, and then just being back to work and getting things ready for the holiday season. I'm excited for things to come.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Those of you guys listening live, yeah, this is that time. So just tell us something that you're grateful for. That, like Kylene said, that vibration raises us all up, and Tanya just said, "Oh, memories." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's a good." Oh, that lifts me up, right? Kylene said, "Lewis." I'm like, "Yeah, I love our son," right? And so listen, that kind of thing. So before Becky, we get to you, let's just say good morning to those who are checking in here. We have Chuck joining us. Good morning, Chuck. And Michelle says, "Good morning to the Fab Four." Yeah. Thank you so much for getting up early, and Sandy always up early, so good to have you tuning in as well, Sandy from Honeybee Creations. Good morning. All right, so Becky, what shows up for you when you think of gratitude here?
This week, my gratitude is for health. My 16-year-old gave us a little scare, gave me a scare on Monday. And as of right now, there's nothing wrong, but I'm just thankful for health, and that we will continue to make sure that there's nothing wrong and go from there. So yeah. Health it is this week.
There it is. I like it. We've got Julie checking in from Michigan. Good morning, Julie. Thanks for being here. And Sheila Ryan tuning in from Designs by Baby Moon, I believe is what it is. Sheila, sorry if I got that wrong. So it's early for me too still, but thanks for being here, Sheila. Awesome. So I'm grateful for the Fab Four here. This Wednesday morning thing comes up every week. This is week 5, and it's been just incredible. I again knew that there was more out there that we could do, and wow, this feels like it. So I'm grateful for you guys for because it's not not easy, right? It's not like, hey, we just show up here and smile. We have to kind of put some together and things like that. And we smile too. So really good stuff. All right. Well, yeah, oh, here we go. Sandy says, I'm grateful for the opportunities for growth. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely. If anybody else that is joining us live has those gratitude statements they want to make, please feel free to pop them in there anytime.
Mhm.
There's no, and honestly, if you're catching the replay version of this, add it in there. Again, that
Yes.
vibration just ripples out. So Michelle says, I'm grateful for friendships. And we've got Barb checking in from North Central Minnesota. Yeah, I think that's where the area where you grew up, Kylene, right?
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like a half hour from where I grew up, I think.
Gotcha.
Something like that.
And then,
But
yeah. I'm still figuring out Minnesota. I'm just.
You've been there enough times.
I know, I've been there a lot.
You're pretty good.
I rely a little too much on GPS, I think.
True.
In my world out here, that makes Barb a neighbor.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point. All right, good deal. Well, like I said, guys, just feel free. We want to interact with you guys that are tuned in, whether you're live or whether you're watching the replay. So that's what it's all about. Just, we can have that engaging conversation that, again, that rising tide lifts all boats. And so looking forward to hearing what you guys have for gratitude, looking forward to hearing your take on the things that we're going to talk about here today, and just having that interaction throughout. So I think without further ado, though, we've got a lot that we want to cover today. So Tanya, Kylene, are you guys ready to give us a little bit of that wellness toolbox? Just pull another sweet tool out of the toolbox and share it with us?
Absolutely.
All
Most
right,
definitely. Ready.
Let's do it. Here we go.
Hello again. I just I love this topic, and inadvertently it ties in with Choose really, really well. Power of affirmations, a tool for achieving success. And first of all, let's talk about what an affirmation is. It's a positive statement or a declaration that is used to challenge and overcome self-sabotaging and negative thoughts. I used to really struggle with self-sabotage and being negative all the time. And since I've done Choose, that's really gotten a lot less. Affirmations are typically short, clear, and specific statements that are designed to encourage a positive mindset and a belief in one's abilities and potential. So people who are listening from the audience, do you practice affirmations? Is there something that you do daily that helps move you forward? When I say the Choose board, this is what mine looks like. And today I choose to show up for myself. I'm worth it. So it's positive based. And the nice thing about this is it's a dry erase board. So I can change it as often as I like. If I need something different, I can just change it, but it's here on my desk so that I can remind myself if I start going down a negative rabbit hole that, okay, we're going to get back to positive and some belief in self. So
yeah, that's awesome.
So pop in how you use affirmations, and then I'm going to pass it over to Kylene.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. It is, we'll talk more about that later, having it in front of you. But affirmations, essentially, it's a way to like jumpstart your subconscious, right? It's not a magical tool. It can be magical, but it's not like I just read my affirmation and my dreams come true. But it's helped to reprogram your brain to shift those negative self-sabotaging behaviors and thought patterns we have, and create more self-empowerment and positivity for us. And then in turn, when we practice our affirmations, we're affirming what we want to happen, right? And therefore, we do have more success. We do have better relationships. We do start attracting more good things to us. So for me, affirmations is definitely something that when I do my yearly goals, I have affirmations for my goals. And it's really powerful because, like you said, you have it in front of you and you're able to, when life comes at you, you're able to come back to what it is that where you're going. And then we'll talk more about the specifics and how they work, but it really truly is a powerful tool that we can incorporate in our life, especially as we're building a business, trying to achieve a big goal, whether it's for your health or your health and wellness, financial, relationships, whatever it might be. Affirmations can definitely be beneficial.
One thing that I had written down that I didn't touch on is that there's a quote by Henry Ford: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're absolutely right. And that is so true. I find that if I'm concentrating on what I want and envisioning me being where I want to be, I'm going to be in a positive place. If I am not practicing that and I'm down in the dumps or saying I can't do things, then I'm not going to be successful in that. And I've proven to myself that philosophy over and over again. Michelle says she does affirmations, and now she also uses the choose board. And Julie's affirmation mantra of many years, particularly when eating: heal, nourish, thrive. I love that. Absolutely love that.
That's awesome. I'm glad you guys shared that. Because we'll talk about it. Later we'll talk about how to put them all together, how to write your affirmations in a real powerful way. But, I'm glad to hear different ways people are using them in their life because, yes, it is a statement, but it's a really powerful statement. And it really can. So they kind of work with, you're affirming what you want to have happen. So when you do your affirmations, you're affirming as if it's already happened. And that's really that's the magical part, right? So you're almost rehearsing yourself in that moment of achieving your goal in all those different areas of your life. And I think that's the powerful place because we're training that subconscious brain. And then when things show up in the world for us that can help us move forward, then our brain's kind of prepared. Then that fear that usually stops us, it's kind of programmed and conditioned to move forward into that fear, get out of our comfort zone more. I don't know. For me, that's where I think it's really powerful because I can get stuck in that comfort zone. I like my comfort zone. I don't know about you, but my comfort zone is a really nice place. But my favorite quote too, I love the one you shared too. Mine is, everything you want is on the other side of fear, by Jack Canfield. And it's so true. Like, we have these big dreams for ourselves. We see where we're headed. But for whatever reason, fear shows up and then we pull back. And I'm guilty of this. That's why I like the quote so much. It's a good reminder. So how do you think affirmations would work like the best in your life?
By practicing them daily. And it's not just for business. It can be for anything. Julie mentioned that she started hers during health issues. And that's how a lot of mine came to be too. Julie and I are designers in a group together, and I just absolutely love her. But we both faced our share of challenges. But by focusing on those good things and practicing that every day, it can get us past that. And I love that. It also has enabled me to attract positive, like-minded people in my life. And that's been really powerful too. And it seems like when you concentrate on those affirmations, then it's a snowball effect of good things happening. It's not always going to be great things happening, but it also enables you to handle the bad stuff in a more positive way. And that's powerful as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I'm glad you said that because it doesn't take away life. It doesn't take away those challenging moments. It just allows you to work through them a little bit easier. Maybe you get through them a little bit faster. Maybe you have, I don't know, not a more enjoyable experience, but you get back on track faster because you're taking care of yourself. You have I think we've talked about this. Maybe it's come up every show that we've done together is you have that clear picture. You have that North Star, I think is Erin wrote or shared one day. You know, you have that path that you're going. You're rehearsing, affirming with your affirmations what goals you have for yourself. And then it just allows you to keep going down that path instead of getting sidetracked and going down a different path.
And it can also help you to open up your mind to other possibilities that maybe you're so stuck on, it has to be this way. But I've had some think outside the box moments of, oh, well, this isn't working. So maybe let's try something completely off the wall. And then it works. So I love being able to get out of my comfort zone now. And it's just opened up a lot of positives in my life.
Yeah. And you mentioned, you know, how it's opened up the positives for me too, you know, like the relationships, you know, when you talk about what it is that you want, and you have these conversations, I can be very guarded. I'm pretty sure people know that a little bit about me, and I'm trying to let more of myself out, because the more that I do that, I do find that I am attracting more of those things to me, because in my brain, I've rehearsed what I want and then let my guard down and allow those relationships to come to me, which brings me closer to where I'm headed, and it brings more positivity. So, yeah.
There's a lot of practical ways that we can use affirmations in our life. And so Kylene and I are just going to have a throwing these out there back and forth discussion. And in the comments, if you have anything that you want to say, please speak up, because we do love the conversation.
Yeah. It looks like Michelle just had one, a comment. Doing affirmations has helped me change my mindset and stay positive. I love that. That's exactly what they're meant to do.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you've had that experience.
And I know I touched on this a little bit earlier, but they help you reach your goals: business, health, relationships, self-confidence. I've noticed a huge shift in self-confidence for me.
Yeah. It's creating that self-belief in yourself that it is possible, right? You're rehearsing it in your subconscious. And when you rehearse it, one of the things that they say, and I've learned about affirmations, is when you say them, you really want to visualize that you're in that moment, achieving that goal and feeling that experience fully. It just makes it that much more real for your subconscious. And then when those experiences show up for us in our life, we're that much more likely to go for it. So yeah, I love that you shared that. Yeah. And then writing them out. So sometimes, at least that's how I learned and got through college, is when I write things out, it's like another form of imprinting in my brain. It's another form of learning and practicing. I don't know. So I would encourage you, if you have some affirmations for yourself, just write them out every day if you can.
Absolutely. That's, the choose board for me, but I also have a section in my planner. Also doing them multiple times a day, that reminder, looking at my choose board, doing them in the morning and in the evening. So you kind of go to bed with those positive thoughts and visualizations in your head is very powerful.
Yes, I love that. Yeah. Aaron actually has encouraged me, because I've watched him do it. He posts his goals, his affirmations around the house. So he's constantly reminded of why he's doing all the things that he's doing, and he stays on that path. And so I have put my goals in the bathroom now. So I have them there. So when I get ready in the morning, I can read through them. I have them here at my desk. I have them in my planner. So, and I have my choose board too. I have that over there. So
Yay.
It does help. It for sure, it helps. And then another idea that is you could record your affirmations. So, and then you could listen to them throughout the day. So maybe if you have a drive, you could be playing your affirmations for yourself. Again, it's just another form of information being processed in your subconscious. And so the more you can be clear about what it is that you want and affirming that it is possible for you, because it truly is. I believe we have a goal. It's meant to be there, right? It's almost as if the universe is telling us, okay, this is what you can do. Now let's go to work and make that happen.
A couple of just practical like stories, if you will. I have a friend on TikTok who was having trouble taking her vitamins every day. So, and she also struggles with a lot of negative self-talk. And so she does vitamins and affirmations, a video for everyone every morning. So she gets on and she does her affirmations and she takes her vitamins, and she's now very successful with taking her vitamins, which is important for bariatric people. So I love that. And then there's a Minnesota Viking player that they showed a dry erase board with really neat handwriting, and he confessed that it was his wife's handwriting. But they write down the goals like for every game and for their life on this whiteboard in their kitchen. And he said that every success that they have had has been on that whiteboard. And that was like really powerful to me. And every time, like in daily life, I'm like, so not really shocked, but like tickled when people are choosing and they use that I choose, or they're using like whiteboards and doing those things, because it's like, oh, another person that, you know, has got it figured out. So
yeah. I mean, it's just, not only does it like keep you on track, but it keeps like your, like in that example, the family on track. Aaron, I keep bringing him up, but he has been really good for our family. He put that in place, you know, so we have a whiteboard now for our meals. Oh, I love it. Okay. I am loving that I am fostering a harmonious life with Kylene, supporting our dreams, embracing our roles, and nurturing open communication and trust. I love that affirmation. Yes. So it is true. It improves our relationships with others. You know, we can't make anyone do anything, right? But if we communicate and we are clear with what it is we're doing together, then you reach those goals together. And then those affirmations are just kind of that glue that really kind of helps keep it all together and on track. So,
well, yeah. Kylene and I could talk and talk and talk, but there are two other people that need some time. So next week, we're going to dive into how to craft your affirmations, the key to making true changes in your life. So thanks for joining us for this portion of the Wellness Toolbox. We're going to bring everyone else back in and move on.
Sounds great. Thank you, guys.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, I love I recorded. So I recorded mine on a little video with some high vibration music in the background. And as I was walking over to the hall every day when I was on that trip last week, I just played that, you know, I played it, and, you know, so it's like part of my morning routine now. So I love it. Love it. Great
awesome.
information there. So
yeah, you definitely use affirmations very well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you guys, ChatGPT is very helpful when it comes to tuning the language a little bit. So
good to know.
Love ChatGPT.
I'll save it for next week, but I've got so much. I love that you guys shared affirmations as our tool. So, all right. Well, where are we at here? Next, we are ready for some small business success gems, I believe. So, Becky, does that gem look nice and shiny and ready to go?
Shiny and short. I like it.
All right, let's do it. Here we go.
Good morning, OSG squad. What are you guys feeling this morning? We've been very active this morning, and I love that. I love seeing all the comments come through. So today's topic is time study. Have you heard of a time study? This was very new to me. Aaron gets talked about a lot. We obviously utilize him a lot here, but I had not heard of a time study. I've been in business for over 5 years, and I have never part of it for something for a business. Let us know in the comments. Have you conducted a time study on your own business or used it in your toolbox, another toolbox for our tools here this morning? So a time study shows that it's a technique used to figure out how much time it takes to perform certain tasks. It's been used in the manufacturing business, the service industries, trying to find any efficiencies for your workflow and anything like that. In small businesses, time studies can show where we have some inefficiencies happening. Where are you having those time wasters? What's taking you longer than you realize? I know that for me, that is kind of a huge thing. Oh, that's not going to take that long. I'll just quick do it. And 45 minutes later, I'm still picking a font for a design, and that obviously is not how I meant for that to happen. So that's something that would definitely be a time waster at that point, when something that you thought was maybe going to take you 10 minutes total, and you're now still in there working on that same thing for 45 minutes. So after talking with Erin about it, it's definitely something that I'm going to try to implement here in the next month. Just to get an idea. We're coming into some busy times with holidays and stuff, so it would be a good time to kind of see where is that time going. So if you're going to conduct a time study, you have to decide, how are you going to track it? Like I found Erin had mentioned the app. It's called Toggl, Toggl. I've looked into it a little bit. I've downloaded it on my phone. There is overwhelming information in there, so much that it would take a little bit to figure it out. But even just being able to see on a chart or in a spreadsheet that, what you categorized for working on that day. Or maybe you're a pen and paper type of person. That is just as simple as, as soon as you start a task, it is now 7:28. So you write it down and you start that task. And then when you finish and you start the next one, put those times on there. Don't forget that you need to also track that time that you're on the social media, because I think that's probably where we lose some of our time. Then, how long should you do this study? In talking to a couple people, it sounds like 2 weeks is a good place to start. But maybe your business requires you to have a full month. That your processes handle over a month. So maybe you need to have a full month towards it. So now that you've, know what you're going to kind of look for, have the tools to do it, know how long you're going to do it, now you're ready to start. But the main point of this time study is to be intentional. Did you catch that? That's that intentional. That's that word that we've had popping up for us. We're on week 5. I think I've heard intentional or intention all 5 weeks so far. So if you're intentional, you're going to watch your time. Your time is your most valuable commodity. If you're intentional about tracking your time, you're going to learn where that time is being spent. And I actually anticipate this to be quite an eye-opening thing. So I am going to challenge myself, and I know that the rest of the Fab Four are going to hold me to it. I will put it as a challenge, as one of my goals in one of my masterminds that I'm in, to conduct my time study. I'm going to put it out there, and I'll come back with some results. So you guys will have to hold me to it. So I see Erin did put the link out there for Toggl. I'm going to throw that up there one more quick time for you guys to check out. And then I see Barb said she uses a 365 calendar with color-coded schedule times. As a single employee running my business, I have to do that. That's a great idea, Barb. I love that. So I'm going to be short and sweet here. I'm going to bring the rest of the Fab Four back up for a quick, short discussion to see if they have anything else that they want to add to this time study information, and see what they have to say.
Love it.
Great job, Becky.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a great tool. I think it is really important to know, because some days you can go throughout your day and you're like, well, I could get so much more done. And then you don't really understand where that time was lost. So this sounds like it's going to give you lots of good information so you can be more efficient with the time that you do have, and prioritize better.
Yeah.
and I've been in business for a lot longer, a lot more years than what I want to admit. And it's not anything that I've done yet. I have become very good at flying by the seat of my pants, but I know that there's so much that more I could get done if I knew where my time was going, because I too am guilty of looking for a font forever, or oh, I can draw that instead of using another tool. So I'm going to do it as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Barb says, I found the marketing social I was lacking, so I scheduled that in. And I think that's, kind of thinking from that space, right? That Becky said the intentional is such a key to this whole thing. And so once she found that, right? So that came out of, maybe it wasn't a time study specifically like Becky mentioned or whatever the case may be, but you have to find what is holding you back, right? Well, maybe it is too much time on social media. Maybe it is too much time hunting for the fonts, too much time watching television, too much, whatever. But that's the whole point of this time study. I love that you also shared, it could be as simple as pen and paper, and you don't have to get too crazy with this, but if you keep track of this for, like you said, a couple weeks, you can really quickly just go through that list of all the different tasks you wrote down on that pen and paper and just highlight, right? Maybe make green the ones that, yep, that was a good use of time. Maybe, different color for some things that we got to get a little bit more efficient at, and then maybe another color for things that we just need to knock out completely and use that as a reward, as opposed to that's the big part of the middle of my day.
Yeah.
So,
Sandy has too, that she says she needs to do a time study, and Sandy is in one of my masterminds. So maybe Sandy and I need to team up and have a challenge to get our time studies done.
I love it.
Yeah. And Becky, I know you brought up Toggle, and that is definitely a tool that I've used. And it can be a little daunting at first, you get all the different reports and stuff like that. But basically, it's just, instead of having a pad and paper, you've got an app either on your phone or your computer, where that's where we spend most of our time as small business owners, to be able to go, okay, start, stop. And then you'll end up with that list at the end. So, yeah. And Barb said, 365 Microsoft Calendar color with reminders. They pop up on my phone and other devices. That's awesome, Barb. Yep, good. Yep.
Love that too. So
Yep.
Nice.
Lots of tools out there when we start looking for them and utilize them. So
Yeah, the utilizing is, I think, where a lot of us fall short. Oh, I downloaded it.
Yep.
But I think that's what this is all about, right? Is again, yeah, we're sharing these tools, and I mean, I know all about them. I don't use them all the time, right? You guys know all about them. We don't use them all the time, and so it's just a reminder. How are we using them? Okay, I know I need to do a time study. Well, there you go. I just shared it out there, and I'm going to hold myself accountable with help, right? Sandy, Tanya said she needed to do it, right? And that's how these things work. The tools are all there. You've got everything you need to be successful inside of you, 100%. There's nothing that you don't have. It's just a matter of utilizing it. And sometimes that takes a little motivation. Sometimes it takes help from the Fab Four or the other people around you. So,
and the intention, that's, maybe I need to change my word of the day or the week. It's going to have to be intention.
It's dry erase board, so you can. I heard that.
Just add it. I think I maybe need to add it. So Michelle had a comment here too that says, I had a hard time yesterday timing just my hats. I can't imagine trying to do it throughout the day. Again, pen and paper, just quick little things that would, nothing so strenuous that you're worried about, oh my God, I got to stop the timer. I got to do this, I mean, and it doesn't even have to be down to the exact minute and second. It's okay, maybe you started at 7:05 and you wrote 7 o'clock down. I mean, 5 minutes here and there. Yes, those are going to add up after a while, but you're back to the intention. Are you just intentionally watching those things to find, did you slip back into, okay, I clicked on Facebook Messenger because somebody sent me a message, and then from there it was like, oh, look at something shiny and object, I got a new notification, I better go see what got said. And now you're 20 minutes later and you're still scrolling social media. So and maybe I'm wrong, Aaron, that you should be doing more of the minute by minute type thing, but I just feel that it's the intention of just really watching, where are you seeing that you're falling apart, falling into some of those things.
Yeah. Well, and you're not wrong at all. I mean, you can get down to that minute by minute if that's what you're really trying to figure out. But the other thing I think that, like you said, it doesn't really have to do that. You might just find in doing this time study that maybe you are task switching too much for you to get into a flow, right? So if it was hard to, and I'm not picking on Michelle here, I'm just using this example. I'm not saying this is what happened, but let's just say it was hard to track the hats. And the thing that made it hard was that you're doing a hat, and I got to do this. And then, right, if you were able to just kind of focus in on, let's do the hats, and we can get those done in a much more condensed time if I'm focused. Right? So again, just this is all about learning what you need to be intentional about changing. And then, you can get to a system like Barb's talking about with a color-coded schedule that pops up and all that kind of fun stuff. So anyhow, I think that you're exactly right, Becky.
And I was gonna, go ahead, Tanya.
The way I like to think about it is like anytime we try doing a new thing, whether it's an exercise routine or implementing something new, it does seem daunting until you're doing it. And you don't have to be perfect at it, and you don't have to like do it every minute of every day. Just start out something small. I had someone message me the other day and she's like, okay, I need to start strength training. Not that I'm an expert, but do I start out with an hour? No, 10 minutes tops, 10 minutes. Yeah. And she's like, oh, that's much more easier to handle. Yes, because you want to continue it.
And on that same note, I mean, with the time study, maybe it's one day, maybe it's 2 days, just something to get started. So Kylene, I know you had a comment there.
Oh, no, I was just kind of like to kind of summarize what everyone has said here. It's just bringing that awareness to you. Once you have that awareness, then you can allow your learning to happen, and then you can make the changes that you need to get moving forward to achieving your goals. It's just bringing that awareness to you, because like you guys are saying, we might have zero clue of where our time is going. And once we have that awareness, we can learn and move forward.
Yep. Aaron put Tanya's, you don't have to be perfect. And then Michelle said, yes, I was also designing and cutting vinyl while doing hats. I just would forget I was timing to get my average per hour.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes in at. So
yeah. Well, I know I'm very guilty of that too, right? I've got to do, if I'm not doing something in this little moment of rest between loading a hat or whatever, not that I'm doing that, but that I'm not being efficient. But a lot of times the opposite of that is actually true. That task switching takes more time away from us than just getting in, getting focused, be in the zone, knock it out, and then move on to the designing, the cutting, the next thing. So not all the time, but there's something to think about.
That would lead us into time blocking, and I don't think we've talked about that yet. So we'll save that for another week. Barb had another comment that says it gives you a chance to not only find lost time, but gives you opportunities to change, to move forward. And that's exactly right. Trying to find those spots where you can, fix what you need and become more efficient and fill those voids. So, well, I appreciate you guys for coming up here and having a quick discussion with me. We are going to have a quick promo for trying OSG. We would love, 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 love to see you guys be a part of our community.
As a small business owner, the journey can often feel overwhelming. It can feel like you're overworked, underappreciated, and alone. At our Success Group, we guide you to uncover the fundamentals necessary for success and lead you to fall in love with your business. We provide the foundational support and guide you towards a business that you love, not just a job that you dread. With OSG, we tackle aligning your business with your reason or purpose, defining a pricing strategy tailor-made for your business, and pave the way for you to identify your ideal customer. This is just scratching the surface. The mindset shift we provide is the game changer. We're here to support you every step of the way. Take a chance on yourself, trust in your potential, and let OSG guide your first steps towards lasting fulfillment. Go to osg.link/try-OSG.
All right. Awesome. Well, check that out. And we appreciate you guys that are a part of the OSG community. Just again, that rising tide lifts all boats, and it's all because of you guys. And if you have not checked out OSG, just go to that link that was mentioned there. And we'd love to have you be part of it and check it out, see if it's for you. So, all right. Well, you guys ready to talk a little uncommon mindset here?
Yep, I'm going to give you a quick. My word today says mindful. I'm going to maybe try to still be here when Erin's done, but if I'm not, I just want to tell you guys all thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a great day.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in here today. I do have my choose board too. And my choose word of the day is integrate, is to implement, to put these things into work. So last week we talked about integrity, and we kind of explored this as an uncommon mindset. We traced the roots of it back to the Latin word. And I'm going to have to read it here because I won't get it right. My Latin's not so good, but integras is how I read it. And so anyhow, integrity, and that same root word, that Latin word integras, is also the same root of integrate. And integrity is all about completeness. It's about unity. It's about aligning our actions with our values. And many people are going to look at integrity only as that external measure. Do you guys feel like I'm have integrity? How do other people see me, right? How do they see my values? And my point that I'm hoping that we get across here is there's actually a much more important side to integrity, and that's the internal side. Do you find that you're feeling like you're acting with integrity, right? How do you feel? How do you integrate your values? So I'm curious if anybody had any takeaways from last week's discussion about integrity, and if there was anything that stood out, and kind of going from there. So just share in the comments, and I'd love to hear a little bit more from you guys that are tuned in, and your thoughts on this whole concept of integrity and integrate all together and what that means for you. And so integrity is consistently sharing, being united with our values and our principles and our actions. It's about staying true to those values and principles and moral character, and just having a almost unwavering consistency and honesty to yourself. And again, thinking about this from your internal, how do you feel about yourself? Not what other people are saying, right? That's how we normally envision integrity, and that's certainly a big part of it, but it has to start here. It has to start with you. So when you have that alignment, it creates this kind of unified, this complete self. And integrity also means acting the same privately as you do publicly, right? Ensuring that your actions mirror your words. And there's a lot of benefits to this, which is what we talked about last week. The benefit of building trust, building that internal trust, and also simplicity, right? When you're aligning your actions with your values, you have this kind of more harmonious existence. And all of those things are true of how others might see us and our businesses from the outside. But again, even more importantly, how you envision yourself. Do you trust yourself, right? Is decision making simple because you're aligned with your values? If you're acting from that internal integrity, you don't have any friction. So again, what are you guys, your thoughts on this? What have you taken away so far? And while you guys are putting that information in the comments, I want to just pick back up and kind of wrap this up this week with a couple of key points here that I think will help us integrate this even more. And there are a couple challenges when it comes to kind of acting with integrity. And this is not really to discourage you from it, but really just to prepare you a little bit for more, like, what do you need to be thinking about so you can fully integrate this? So the first thing that is a little bit of a challenge is acting with integrity does take time and patience, right? It's not built overnight. It requires you to have some patience to develop that consistency, right? I want to be doing X or Y or Z, and to be able to consistently do that, builds up that integrity. But to build a habit, it takes some time, right? And so we have to be able to give ourselves that grace of like, it's okay, right? I'm trying to do X, right? For me, I don't want to drink any soda anymore. But I was in Atlanta, the home of Coca-Cola, my favorite drink, right? Did I slip? Sorry, Kylene, yes, I did. But the reality is, it's okay, right? I'm being intentional with trying to give that up. And so I'm doing a lot more to build that habit. And so it just takes some patience. In a world of quick fixes, integrity, it doesn't always show up because, you can stray very easily in that world of quick fixes. So let me get the comment in here. Kylene said, being true to yourself, you show up genuine. I know when I'm not being true to myself, I begin to feel more anxious and less positive emotions. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Kylene. All right. So time and patience is the number one kind of challenge that we might face when trying to integrate integrity. Same word, right? Same root word, but that's okay. The other thing is it takes some accountability to others, right? When you commit to integrity, you might find that you're held to a higher standard, right? Well, why do they get off the hook for, acting that way? Yeah, it's okay, right? It can be a challenge for sure, but it's also an opportunity. And I think this is the part that really just stands out to me and why I love talking about topics like this, because it's an opportunity not only to grow yourself and to hold yourself to a higher standard, but then when you inspire others around you, here's what I found. The more I inspire others around me, the more that we're all lifted up together, right? Not that I'm up here or they're down here. It's just a constant, like we're all just kind of, one moment I might be pulling somebody up and the next moment I'm reaching my hand up to get pulled up by somebody else. So that accountability to others can be a challenge, but I think the more you are accountable to others, the more that you are engaging and actively involved in communities, the better. And then the next part here that is just balancing interests. It sometimes demands us kind of striking that delicate balance between, just various interests. Like, again, we need to kind of act the same way in private as we do in public. But we all know, right? We have that group of friends where maybe we, I know for me, maybe don't talk quite the way that maybe I would in front of my mother or my grandmother or whatever, right? So you got to find that balance, right? How do you stay, but sometimes it's okay, right? If you do have that group of friends where maybe you're not acting in a way that, in hindsight, you look back and go, gosh, I could have probably done a little better, been a little bit better, then it's okay, right? I got a group of friends that, I might hang out with at the trade shows, and in years past, we might have spent a little too much time in the bars, gone a little too bit far and whatnot. But, we talk about it and we're like, okay, hey, I had a great trip hanging out with some friends and we didn't have a single drink the entire time. And it was wonderful. And those would have been the same friends that, we did that with. So anyhow, you've got to kind of balance that out, but that also is another opportunity to grow. So if you missed part one of this, please go to liveosg.com and you can revisit and watch that. In fact, go back and watch all 4 episodes and take any of the bits out of all of the segments there. But challenges really are just opportunities to grow and learn. So I think that how I want to wrap this up is just give you some key attributes that you can put into your, we got the wellness toolbox, you got the small business success gems that she had some tools there. I'm going to give you an uncommon mindset tool here. And when you add these things, those challenges will become really simple to manage. So number 1, transparency. It's one of those things that is hard to do, right? We want to hold on to our resources. We want to keep things close to our vest. I was having a conversation on a live video the other day, and somebody was very worried about a non-disclosure agreement and things like that. And it's like, wow, I get it, right? You're working hard and you don't want somebody to just come and steal that. But when you're transparent, you open the doors to your actions and your decisions and thought processes. And then that transparency is going to reinforce your integrity by allowing others to see your alignment with the values. And those others can then help you be accountable and whatnot. But it also builds trust with your team, with your customers, with your partners. And it just means being open and honest about your motives and your intentions and your actions. Transparency also means you have to stop lying to yourself, right? Do your words and actions align? If you have questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. Consultaaron.com is an easy way to reach out to me. One of my superpowers is finding other perspectives, kind of pulling myself away from the weeds. And I love to get up in the clouds and kind of look down on things. So I'm happy to talk to you. Where do you feel like maybe you're misaligned there? And what are the words that you're saying? And then we can talk about some of the actions and maybe find a way that you can realign those things a little bit. And, so just reach out, consultaaron.com. The other, well, let me get Betty's comment here real quick first. So Betty says, when you have integrity in your life, it shows in your business, and that is where your customer base will grow, trust grows, and followers will grow. 100%. Betty, you are here. High five on that. Boom. All right. The second thing I wanted to share with you guys is, accountability. So when we commit to integrity, you become accountable to yourself, but also you become accountable to others. And we've talked a lot about that, and how to integrate these tools and things like that. And it takes a team. I am of the belief, and I will argue with anybody forever, that success is a team sport. I don't care how independent you are. I don't care how much you feel like you can go it alone. At the end of the day, we need other people. We need that team around us to become successful. And so this being accountable to others, again, can be a little bit of a challenge, but it is that opportunity, again, to inspire others. So that way, when you're lifting somebody else up, you might also be able to reach your hand up and get help from somebody else, right? It's this balancing act of finding that accountability. And also being accountable means taking responsibility for your actions and your decisions. Like Tanya said earlier, you don't have to be perfect, right? And you are going to get some things wrong, and you are going to make mistakes. And that is all part of the process. We have to. If we're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. And so we need those actions and decisions. We need to be accountable to them. And so it's, just tell the truth quickly, right? Okay, I messed up. I'm sorry. How can we fix this? Right? So do what you say you're going to do. And if you don't, you're not pushing those limits. So in the context of integrity, it really means acknowledging when you fall short and just taking those corrective actions. So with that being said, I'm going to hit 9 quick practical ways that we can implement this. I know I've got a limited amount of time here, so I'm going to hit them for you really quickly, and then we can come back next week and discuss it a little bit further. So number 1, define your core values. You can't be in alignment with your values if you don't know what they are, period. Right. And so we got to understand what our core values are. And it's not just, you know what it is, but have you created the language that goes along with that aligns? That way it's easier for you to make those things. You have to have regular self-reflection. You got to just set aside time to go, am I really in alignment with my values? Am I doing the right thing? I told a story about how I was struggling. And when I looked back at my core values, I realized I was not holding myself accountable to certain values. And then we need to have a value alignment check, right? And that's what I did, right? Okay, I'm not in alignment with those values, but then I checked it out. I said, okay, what can I do then to be more in alignment with those values? The next thing is transparency and communication, right? We talked about that already, but just really think about that. How are you being transparent with your motives and your intentions as you're working with other people, even your customers, right? I know that a lot of times you feel like it's this us versus them type of thing. I've got to get the most money. They're trying to get the cheapest deal. Let go of that stuff. When you're working together, then the money doesn't matter, right? And the money will show up. So transparency and communication, setting up accountability, right? once you've set those values, how are you going to be accountable to them? What's your check? What's that kind of thing? Getting customer feedback, really getting feedback in general, but in the context of a business, your customers will be the ones that will help you the quickest find out if you're in alignment with your values. Finding some mentorship or coaching, right? Just having those other people around you. Becky talked about the mastermind she's in. Tanya and Kylene are in that mastermind. So check it out. Check out the Masters of Success. Once you go over to check out the OSG community, ask us about it. We're always looking to add new people to that group because we want that rising tide to lift all boats. So check out the Masters of Success. And then the next thing is we need to lead by example, right? And we need to be an example to ourselves by holding ourselves accountable but just leading by example. Say, okay, just because so-and-so is doing it that way, I'm going to do it my way. So I'm aligned with my values, and it's okay for so-and-so to do it that way. That's them. Maybe that's their value. That's okay. Right. And if they're not aligned, then you go your own path. And then most importantly, just celebrate the successes. I think, again, this is hard work. There takes some intention, but every little success that builds up, and our brain wants more of that dopamine hit of that success. So it's going to find more ways to integrate. It's going to find more ways to show your integrity, and you're going to really love that. So with that being said, I think that's what I've got for you guys today. Again, my plan is to come back and dig into those 9 things a little bit deeper next week. And so we will have, I thought I'd get this done in 2, but I think I'm going to need 3. So next week I will come back and we'll talk about those practical applications a little bit more. So let me bring back Tanya and Kylene, and welcome back. Almost the Fab Four. Becky had to run, but as she mentioned. But all right. So what stands out for you guys there?
Oh, that was just all good stuff. Reflecting, being true to yourself, and a lot of people don't do this, but if you mess up, just owning up to it right away. It's far more accepted than having to argue with someone the entire time. I know that's when I get the most frustrated. It's like, just say that you messed up. It's all good.
It's okay. We're gonna figure it out. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. The other thing that stood out to me at the end when you were talking about go your own path, learn from others and what they're doing, and then adapt it to meet your own values, so you're in alignment. I thought that was really important because, especially as business owners, you see someone, you learn from them, that's how they're doing it, they're successful, and you force it, but sometimes it just doesn't quite feel right. I know for me, it wasn't until I got clear about what it is that I'm doing that I felt back in alignment. I still learn from other people, but moving forward that way, I think is really, it's a good reminder, along with taking 100% responsibility.
Yeah, love it. All right, Tanya. Well, time for some ice. Ice is down here.
All right. For those of you who don't know, ICE stands for Inspire, Collaborate, and Encourage. And I started this after Jay's heart attack 3 years ago, and it just is kind of stuck. And then it evolved into choose. So how do you choose to ICE this week? How are you going to inspire, collaborate, or encourage with others? I know for me, this group has been absolutely amazing. I find that when I'm collaborating with others, I'm very happy. We went to a football game the other night, and there was a lady there who does football camps. So I'm like, okay, hold on, Jay, business card to this lady here. You guys need to talk so that we could collaborate on our events. And that just makes me happy. So I would like to challenge everyone to think of something that they're going to choose daily, and how they're going to ICE this week, and then see how it goes. And speaking of choose boards are available. You can get one of these. It definitely helps me to have something fancy. But you can really do it in any way that you want. The important thing is just choose.
Love it. All right, Kylene, what about you? What how do you want to close us out? I know you've got to run here.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I love the choose board. I have mine over there. I just can't reach it without leaving the camera. My choose word is courage, to get outside that comfort zone that I tend to come back to. So using these tools, that's truly what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to use courage all week. That's what I need. So if you guys have any feedback for us with OSG Live, we're open to it. If there's certain topics you guys want to hear about, we want to discuss together, reach out to us. We're open to it. We're just getting started, right? Yes, we are in, what is this, week 5? Did you say?
Yep.
5 already? So I guess we're still getting started, right? Because I hope we continue doing this. So I just want to thank you guys all for being here.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. All right. Bye, Kylene. Enjoy.
Yeah.
All right, Tanya. Well, I love and just as a reminder, people can go to osg.link/ice to find the Choose store there. And then the other link that I wanted to share with people before we close out here, Tanya, is if they, all of the stuff, almost all of the stuff that we talk about, and we'll update it. I think I still need to add Becky's link and some other stuff, but you can find Gracie B. Doodle Designs. You can find the Choose store, all of the Our Success Group stuff, all of the Rise, Shine, Smile yoga and mindset stuff, all over at oursuccessgroup.com/links. And I'll also put that in the comments, so you should be able to just click on that. But the last thing that I want to close with here, Tanya, is I want people to make 100% commitment to that choice, right?
Yes.
You talk about choose, and I know that can feel like a lot, like, oh, wow, really? I have to go 100%. But the reality is, when you make 100% commitment to something, it's so much easier because you don't have that negotiation, that 0.1%, that point whatever percent negotiation. So, we'll get Becky and Kylene to maybe pop something in the comments what they're going to be 100% committed to over the course of this week. But for me, I'm going to be 100% committed to really just finding that focus. I know I changed my choose board word to integrate, but I think I'm going to have to add focus on there as well. So what about for you? What are you going to be 100% committed to this week?
Mine is proactive, because that seems to be where I lack all the time. I have gotten way too comfortable flying by the seat of my pants, and it's stressing me out, and I feel like I'm letting others down. So being proactive about all the things from being prepared for this podcast and things in my daily life, including my exercise and eating, as well as my business life.
Yeah. I love that. Well, so great. And the cool part is, right, when you choose that and you just start being more proactive, it doesn't mean you have to let go of that ability that you have to, quote unquote, fly by the seat of your pants. It just means that you're going to open yourself up for a little more space to let that creativity flow in more appropriate manners, as opposed to
breathe.
yeah, exactly. Some of the weight off the chest. I love that. So really, really awesome. Here, high five. I know we're virtual, but
I love it.
All right. Well, Tanya, this has been great. Becky, Kylene, you guys were amazing as usual. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate all of the comments, everybody that tuned in live here today. We will be back next Wednesday.
Yeah, and please share this with your friends. We would love for people to watch the replay, to give us feedback, and it's something that I know starts my day off on such a high note that I hope it does for everyone else as well.
Yes, it totally does. All right. Thank you, Tanya. We'll talk to everybody next week. Bye-bye.